If you can't find meaning in life or are failing at everything you do, disappear for 6 months and come back a stranger. And this video is about the life story of one such boy, 21-year-old Aryan, who suddenly disappeared. The boy, who was at home until one morning, found his house empty the next day, mobile as of, "There is no sign anywhere. My parents thought maybe he had gone to a friend's house or somewhere. But days go by, nights go by. Aryan is not coming back." After a week, the family had only one word. Missing. A police report was filed. Posters were put up. Pictures were spread on social media. But Aryan seemed to have disappeared from the world. Meanwhile, Aryan didn't actually run away. He had lost himself. His heart was broken, his dreams shattered, and he was lost in life. So he made a decision to get away from everything and change yourself. He leaves the city without telling anyone and goes to an unknown place, a small mountain town where no one knows him, no one knows his past. That's where the real struggle began, breaking self-destructive habits, building a new life. The difficult journey of becoming a new person. On the first night in the mountain town, Aryan understood. This path is not easy. No familiar face, no security at home, no family affection. He is alone, and there are strangers all around. He got a job at a small tea shop, working 10 to 12 hours a day, the rest of the time quietly trying to overcome your mistakes. The cold air of the new city, the silence of the morning, and the loneliness of the night began to change him. He learned a lot in the first month. Patience, the power of silence, price of work, and the difficulty of reinventing yourself. At night, he would sit on the mountain and piece together his broken dreams. He started telling himself directly about what he had done wrong, why he had broken down, why he had lost everything. This honest confession was the first step in turning his life around. In the second month, he began to change both his body and his mind, running in the morning, working during the day, studying at night. The boy who previously couldn't even concentrate on reading a book for 10 minutes now struggled with himself for hours. People started looking at him, a strange fire in the eyes, firmness in voice, change in movement. In the third month, he was admitted to a small computer center. Every day after work, he would sit in class with a tired body. The body ached, but the mind wouldn't stop. He knew it is the parents' fault for having to give birth to themselves anew. The day went on like this. In 6 months, Aryan became a new person. The boy who disappeared from home. He is no longer that Aryan. Patience, a thirst for knowledge, and strength were born within him. Most importantly, the determination to prove oneself has been born. As 6 months ended, one day Aryan stood on the mountain top and spread his arms. The wind was hitting his face, but he was just smiling because he knew his old life was over. His new life was about to begin. He decided, no more running, no more hiding. He would return, but not as the old Aryan, as a completely new, unknown, strong, confident Aryan. The morning of his return, a bag of clothes, a small notebook, and his self-made new personality. With these 3, he boarded the bus. From the city, he had disappeared. Now he was returning there to show his true self. As the bus entered the city, his heart was pounding. How would he face anyone? What explanation would he give for his 6 months of missing life? But the next moment he straightened his chest. What I did for my own good. No one can stop me today. Standing in front of the house, he stood at the door. Would his parents recognize him, or would they be angry, or would they hug him? As the door opened, his mother first stared, with a look of surprise in her eyes, then 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And then she burst into tears and said, "Is this—" My son Aryan bowed his head and said, "Mom, I'm here, but I'm not the old me." His mother hugged him so tightly that it felt like 6 months of pain, fear, and waiting, all dissolved at once, everyone else's reaction. The neighborhood people were surprised. The day the boy disappeared, he was broken, weak, frustrated, lost. And today, there was fire in his eyes, strength in his body, confidence on his face. He was unrecognizable. Friends were surprised. "How did you change so much?" Aryan just said, "It takes time to find yourself after losing yourself." But the biggest question on everyone's mind was, where was he for 6 months, actually? How did he change? Aryan just smiled, because the real story no one knows yet. Even though Aryan returned home, no one could fully understand the change within him. Everyone just saw a new person. But the fire he had to go through to become this person, no one knows that. The first shock of change. In the first week after returning home, everyone understood Aryan was not the same as before. Before he used to stay up all night with his phone. Now he wakes up early and exercises. Before, he used to avoid any work. Now he does all the work himself. Before, I used to get angry over small problems. Now calmly find a solution. Mother said, "Dad, you have completely changed. How is this possible?" Aryan just said, "Sometimes people have to break down and rebuild." Face to face with friends. Some old friends stop him from going out in the neighborhood. One said, "Did you come here after working out? You don't look as calm as before." Another person asked, "Dude, where exactly were you? Everyone said you went the wrong way." Aryan smiled. Before, he would have broken down at such a question. Today, he said firmly, "It doesn't matter where I was. Importantly, who have I become today?" Friends are shocked. Is this boy the same Aryan as before? The boy is now starting to build his own future. 6 months of sweat, hardship, and the power of loneliness have brought him to this point, where he can rebuild his life. He decided, learn to work, build a career. You will prove yourself not only to yourself, to the whole world. I was admitted to the computer center again, where he could no longer be ashamed or afraid as before. Now he comes there first and leaves last. The teacher is also surprised. "You're so serious. What happened to you in 6 months?" Aryan smiled lightly. "Life gave me a second chance. I won't waste it this time." Slowly, he started to become an inspiration to others. The boy everyone once made fun of today, he is an example to everyone. One of his friends said, "Friend, you taught me people can really change if they want to." Arian said, I was lost, but I found my true self. You too can. Just give yourself a chance. Arian understands. This story doesn't end here. This is just the beginning, but the biggest event in his life. It hasn't arrived yet, which will shake the whole city, which will show everyone how a missing boy becomes a legend. Arian's change doesn't just affect the people around him, it made the whole city curious. Everyone wanted to understand one thing. What has this boy actually learned in 6 months? How did it change so profoundly? But Arian wasn't telling anyone the story of his inner battle, because he knew. People won't understand my pain. You will try to understand just to find the mystery. Journey along the path of dreams. One day, he submitted a project to the teacher in computer class. The teacher checked it and stopped. Did you make this? Arian shook his head and said, Yes, sir. The teacher said in surprise, You don't realize how talented you are. You should show this work in a big place. That was the moment which stirred Arian from within. He thought, the boy everyone thought was a failure. Can I really prove them wrong? A new fire ignited within him. The man who has changed with time is now starting to get opportunities. One day, a local company came to the computer center looking for an intern. Only one person will be selected from the class. Everyone applied. Arian also did it. But he felt no pressure, because he knew his efforts are honest, his preparation is genuine, and true preparation never fails. When he was asked in an interview, What have you learned in 6 months? Arian said in a very calm voice, I learned to change myself. I have learned not to accept defeat. And I've learned to grab hold of it when the opportunity comes. The interview board fell silent. They looked at the boy's confidence. On the day of the results announcement, everyone's name started getting mixed up. The name that remained at the end, Arian. Everyone clapped. Friends were surprised. The teacher smiled. Arian just closed his eyes and whispered, Thank you, Mountain City, for making me. This was the first door to his great transformation. But the real change is still to come, because it was waiting ahead. The most difficult test of his life, the biggest opportunity, and the deepest truth. Where was he for 6 months? It will be leaked one day, and that truth will shock the entire city. Ever since he got the internship, Arian's life seemed to take on a new pace. Everyone in the company understood on the first day, this boy is different. There is no fear in his eyes. There is no negligence in his work. He has no shame in his words. Rather, there is a kind of depth, which is only seen inside people who are burned by suffering. From strangers to valuable people. The Arian who once was not taken seriously, today, seniors are holding Arian and teaching him. He helps when someone makes a mistake. When someone's project gets stuck, he comes up with a solution. Everyone used to say, Arian, you've worked hard for 6 years and 6 months. Arian just laughed, because no one knew, accompanying the cool mountain breeze of the night. How many nights did Arian fight with himself until dawn? The missing boy is the talk of the town. One afternoon on the way back from the office, two people saw him and said, "Do you know that boy? He was missing for 6 months. Look, what a change now." Arian walked past them, but in his heart he said, "Yes, I was missing. But not to break down, but to come back." The first sign of the truth being revealed. One night his phone received a call from an unknown number. Arian picked up the phone, which was on silent mode. "Hello? Arian?" He shivered as soon as he heard the voice. This is that man's voice. The person he met was the biggest secret of his 6 months of life. Arian said slowly, "You?" The answer came from the other end of the phone. "It's time. What you've learned in the last 6 months, now is the time to put it to use. Meet me at the old station tomorrow morning." The call ended. Arian stood still. I remembered. A man from that mountain town, from whom he learned mental strength, discipline, and strategies for overcoming your fears. He was not a teacher, no relatives, no friend. He was the strangest guide in her life. But why is he suddenly calling again after 6 months? Next day, old station Arian is waiting at the station. The sun is rising slowly. The platform is almost empty. Just then, a tall, calm-looking man came forward. Arian said in surprise, "You—" The man smiled lightly, that same depth in his eyes, which he first saw on the mountain. "I came to congratulate you," the man said. "You've been able to change yourself in 6 months. This is your biggest victory." Arian asked, "But why did you call me again?" The man said in a calm voice, "Because your story is not over yet. An opportunity is coming before you, which might change your whole life." Arian is surprised. "What opportunity?" The man came forward a little and said, "A decision. Whatever you decide, you will just be a returning person, or the people who made history." The throbbing in Arian's chest began to increase. He knew. This is the biggest turning point in his life. Sitting on the old wooden bench at the station, Arian looked deeply into the man's face. The man who pulled him from the broken side 6 months ago. A new person was created. That man is standing in front of him today and says, "A huge opportunity is coming your way." A strange tremor ran through Arian's chest. What could that opportunity be? The man said slowly, "Do you know, there are very few moments in a person's life that, when can he change his identity? You are standing in front of that moment, Arian." Arian asked seriously. "But what should I do? What decision should be made?" The man looked into her eyes silently, then said, "It was the beginning of changing myself. Now is the time to change others." Arian is surprised. "Others?" The man shook his head and said, "There are many other young people like you whose dreams are shattered, those who lose their way, those who think they are finished. Your journey, your hard work, your change. Everything is a message. You can show them the way if you want." Then he took out a small card and handed it to Arian. Written on the card, "Youth Transformation Program, Mentor Invitation, life skills, career training, and mindset guidance for young people aged 17 to 25. Arian asked in surprise, "You mean you're saying I'm a mentor?" The man said calmly, "You are not just a mentor, Arian. You are an example, a proof that he who is lost returns the strongest." Arian was silent for a few moments. His 6 months of struggle, the night in the mountains, the pain of loneliness, the morning of running with clenched fists, it all flashed before my eyes. He understood. This offer is not just an opportunity. It is also a kind of responsibility. But there was also a fear in his heart. Can I do it? Can I really help others? The man said as if he had heard his own thoughts. You can, because you have proven it in your own life. Arian's biggest decision in life, Arian couldn't sleep that night. This is that boy, the one who was afraid to stand in front of his family 6 months ago. Today he is being told he will change the lives of others. He was standing on the edge of the roof as the dawn broke. The city below, the silence of dawn. And there is only one question inside. Is my life just for myself? Or can I do something bigger with my changes? Slowly, he tightened his fist. The old fire burned in his eyes, which kept him alive in the mountain town for 6 months. Arian whispered to himself, "Yes, I'm ready." The beginning of a new chapter. The next day, exactly at 12 noon, he took the card given to him by the man. He entered the office, that familiar face in front, quiet smile, deep eyes. The man said, "Your decision?" Arian went forward and placed the card on the desk and said, "I am ready, those like me who are lost. I am ready to bring them back." The man smiled. "Welcome, Arian. From today on, you are not just a returning person. You are a guide." Arian closed his eyes and took a deep breath. A strange light spread through him. Like that lost boy, this time I have truly found myself. A new chapter began in Arian's life. This time he is not a student. Now that guide, the one who got lost and returned, and now will lead the way for others. First day of training camp, a large hall. The chairs are arranged in rows. About 30 young people came. Fear in someone's eyes, disappointment on someone's face, anger inside someone, a broken dream in someone's life. Arian stood in front of the hall. All eyes are on him. He paused for a moment. I started remembering those 6 months of dark nights, one by one. But today he is not afraid. Today he is not low. Today he stands strong, because he knows what he has forgotten. "And what have you learned?" The man, his mentor, stood next to him and said, "Everyone, today your mentor from whom you will learn. His name is Arian. 6 months ago, he himself was missing in life. Today he has come to show you the way." Everyone started whispering. "This boy? So confident?" Arian slowly took a deep breath and started speaking. "Hello, everyone. I'm Arian. Maybe you think I'm different from you. But no. Once upon a time, my life was also broken. I ran away, but that running away changed me." The hall was silent. Arian said, "You have come here because there is fire inside you. Fire sometimes destroys, sometimes makes people. I have come here to teach you that fire to create, not destroy." Even in very simple words, his voice was strangely powerful, which is embedded in people's minds. On the first day of the support, in the first group session, he called 3 people forward. One had his eyes downcast. Arian said, "Name." "Rafi," the boy whispered. "Problem?" Rafi said, "I can't speak confidently in front of anyone. My family thinks I can't do anything." Arian looked at her for a moment and said, "I couldn't even tell myself 6 months ago that I could do anything. You start from today. Say one sentence out loud." "I can," Rafi said in a trembling voice. "I can." "More loudly," Arian said. "I can." The hall clapped. Tears welled up in Rafi's eyes. Arian put his hand on her shoulder. "This is your first victory." The second person in, the girl's story was a girl. Her name was Mishti. She said, "Even when I dream, no one believes me. Everyone says girls can't be that big." Arian listened and said in a calm voice, "No one will believe in dreams until you make them come true. Stop thinking of yourself as small. I have come back after losing myself for 6 months. You are in your own home. Your strength is even greater." A different light shone in the girl's eyes. Everyone in the room seemed to be the Aryan of their own story wherever she looked. Every face showed pain, fear, disappointment, exactly what she herself had gone through. The mentor stood next to him and said, "I didn't do you wrong, Aryan. You were truly born to show the light to others." Aryan smiled lightly. "I'm just giving back what I learned." The news started spreading in the city. After a few days, the only discussion in the city was, is the boy who disappeared and returned now changing others? People would say, can a boy's 6-month invisible life change so much? Many doubted, many praised, many made up stories. But everyone understood one truth. Arian is no longer an ordinary boy. He is now a symbol of change in people's lives. And the story doesn't stop here, because what awaits ahead is Arian's first big responsibility, a huge challenge, a terrifying incident, and a moment which will make him the hero of the entire city. After the moment, people will call him not a missing boy, the Aryan of the city. After listening to this story, you might also wonder if it is real. In fact, it is. So their stories are made in the pages of their history for this strange act. Write your opinion in the comments.